Meeting to order. The municipality of Oakland-Wawanesa would like to acknowledge and recognize that we are operating on Treaty 1 and Treaty 2 lands, being the original territory of the Anishinaabe and Dakota nations and the homeland of the Métis Nation. That is the adoption agenda. Be it resolved that the agenda for the March 17th, 2026 meeting be accepted as presented, with the addition of the request from Councillor Rowe to be excused from the meeting for medical reasons under general business. Moved by Councillor McDonald, second by Councillor Gillett. All in favor? Be resolved that the minutes of the February 17th, 2026 regular meeting of council be hereby approved and circulated. Moved by Councillor Hatch, second by Councillor Fisher. Any errors or omissions? All in favor? Your finance general account be resolved as March 10th, 2026 general accounts payable being checks number 8649 to 8699 and 8701 to 8708 in the amount of $105,182.29 be hereby approved. Moved by Councillor Gillett, second Councillor McDonald. Discussion? All in favor? Councillor Fisher, you want to?
Yeah.
Sorry. That's
I
okay.
didn't read ahead. Gonna go back here and just shut the door?
Yeah.
Yes, you can.
Be resolved, it's March 10th, 2026, general accounts payable, being check number 8700 to Mike Fisher, the amount of $575 be hereby approved. Moved by Councillor Hatch, second Councillor Gillett. Discussion? All in favor? Great.
Taking my water cup.
Resolved to direct deposit 395 being staff payroll for the period February 14th to February 27th, 2026 in the amount of $12,702.88 be hereby approved. Moved by Councillor McDonald, seconder. Councillor Fisher. Discussion? All in favor? Be it resolved to direct deposit 396 being staff payroll for the period February 14th to February 27th, 2026 in the amount of $2,346.71 be hereby approved. Moved by Councillor Gillett, seconder. Councillor Fisher. Let's just for clarification that the CEO was left off the payroll for that previous one, so she had not. She did get paid.
Oh, I was gonna say thank you for the donation.
All in favor? Okay, be it resolved that direct deposit 398 being staff payroll for the period February 28th to March 13th, 2026, the amount of $14,786.27 be hereby approved. Moved by Mr. Hatch, second by Councillor McDonald. Discussion? All in favor? Be it resolved to direct deposit 397 being council indemnities for the month of February 2026 in the amount of $4,606.64 be hereby approved. Moved by Councillor Fisher, second Councillor McDonald. Discussion? All in favor? Okay, utility account. Be it resolved that the March 10th, 2026 utility accounts payable being checks number 1406 to 1415 in the amount of $8,254.10 be hereby approved. Moved by Councillor Gillett, seconder Councillor Fisher. Discussion? All in favor? Be resolved that the statement of revenue and expenditures report February 28th, 2026 be received as presented. Moved by Councillor McDonald, second Councillor Hatch. Discussion? All in favor? Bank reconciliations be resolved that the bank reconciliations for the month of February 2026 be approved as previously circulated. Moved by Mr. Gillett, second Councillor Fisher. Discussion? All in favor? Carried. Okay, so delegation.
We do. You can invite the delegates to come forward, please.
Thank you. We feel very special today. There's no one.
You are. You are.
Thank you.
Okay, if I share your.
Yes.
This on our camera. Okay, okay. We'll be up there. Oh, give me 1 second here. Oh, it's higher than it was. Okay, they'll fix that. Okay.
Do you think you could possibly lower the?
Yeah, I will, yeah.
Okay. Unless we all have to go like this. I think it's just a matter of flowing, yes. So, yes,
Better?
there you go. Can everyone see you? It's much better?
We could dim the lights there, Craig, if you wanted.
Which ones?
Oh.
I got another one.
Yeah, thanks.
Thank you. Well, first of all, thank you very much for having us here today, for inviting us over. It's a great day for traveling. Absolutely. We have to pick the best one. So my name is Elena, and this is my business partner, Martin. Together we create Smiley Worms and Smiley Guys. So I'm the brain of the operation. This is the muscle. Today we're here to talk about the a proposal of organic waste diversion program. And let's begin. So just to be clear, we are actually Smiley Worms, as you see it on our t-shirts, but we work as two operational systems. One is the Smiley Guys and the other one is Smiley Worms. So Smiley Guys, the green organic waste organic collection service, that the brochure that you have right now in front of you is demonstrating that what this division is responsible for. It's responsible for bin placement, weekly pickup and washing, and transport to the processing site, which is our farm. And Smiley Worms is responsible for vermicomposting, and hope we know all of this. It's basically worm castings, soil, and different soil products. So it processes organic waste, it produces worm castings, and supports soil health. So together it creates the circular economy that helps basically everyone around. Now, kind of a fast forward, and Mark will talk a little bit about how we started this business. In 2020, we created Smiley Guys Green Waste Collection Service, just due to the number of organic waste being thrown in the landfill, basically daily. And we started out with businesses, and this is our primary goal. Right now in Brandon, we've got lots of customers. Particular one would be the Green Spot, military base in Charlotte, and this is the first military base nationwide that took this initiative. And basically, instead of throwing things, and they have a lot of cafeteria, they have lots of soldiers, they have lots of mouths to feed, so there's lots of waste around. Shoppers Mall is one of our biggest customers as well. All the vendors are now using our green bins, and this program has been going on for years. Also restaurant, personal care homes. We also collect now organic waste from public schools, particularly two schools, Crocus Plains and Meadows, participate in this program. And next week on Monday, we are doing the presentation to the division, the Brandon School Division, to put all the schools on board and in order to create this circular economy. And we have a huge delegation going to them, and it's going to be, we think it's going to be great. Now also BU is participating, part of it. Okay, so why are we here today? So you might be asking this question. So first and foremost, we know that waste is not, the organic waste is not only the problem for towns like Brandon, but it's also the municipal challenge. And municipalities across Canada are always searching for ways for practical solutions in order to reduce landfills pressure, control environmental impact, and demonstrate sustainability leadership. And of course, if people in the community know that Oakland-Wawanesa is doing something to reduce this waste, or they have possibly solutions to do this, it's always good for publicity. Now, one thing about us is Smiley Worms is not that not only we provides you with organic waste diversion using vermicomposting, we also divert potting mixes from greenhouses and wood chips that are ultimately destined to be in the landfill. In addition to this, we pride ourselves because we educate public and schools on the importance of composting. And so we create circular economy that waste becomes soil nutrition. So this slide demonstrates of how we converted our organic waste that we collect into marketable products. So one of the top sellers for us is the recycled garden soil. And we sell it in 240-liter bins. These are the same type of bins that will be put for people to throw their waste, organic waste. Also wood chips is, wood chips is also our big seller. Now, these are the workhorses of all the composting work. So these tiny heroes, we call them, or smiley heroes, these are the ones that basically divert all the organic waste and turn it into nutrient composting system, or called worm castings. So Martin likes to call them, they are perfect soldiers, they're perfect workers, they don't complain, never complain, they never say a boo, they work 24/7, they multiply like crazy, and they all they do is just they never sleep and they always eat. So these are these products, which we call them Earth Saver, the 25-pound bag and the 5-pound bag, and we brought it here today for you to show. This is basically what comes from organic waste. So we feed this waste to our composting worms, red wrigglers, and they produce, they call them black gold. And the black gold, it looks, we also brought the sample, it looks just like dirt, except without smell, but it's not dirt. It's basically, in plain language, you would say it's worm poop. That is beneficial for all kinds of plants. It doesn't matter if it's inside or outside, indoors, outdoors, you can use it all year round. We also, as a sub-product, we also produce living soil, which is like plants grow like crazy. We also pride ourselves because we are CFIA certified, and it took a long time for us to complete the certification, but it's done, and we're very proud of this and very happy. So we are also very sustainable, and we're not going anywhere. So we've been doing this since 2021, since 2020-21 for Smiley Worms. All right, so now you will probably ask us, so what are the benefits? Why are we here? So first of all, it will help you reduce landfill waste, right? It will show that you're environmental leader. It will contribute to climate action and emission control, for example, methane, and it will somehow offset the cost. Now, estimated waste diversion impact. Per bin, per week, and our organic collection service will be provided to you weekly, between 175 to 250 pounds or 80 to 115 kilograms. Total weekly diversion, example, if we take 5 bins, will be between 875 to 1,250 pounds. Now, again, if bins are all full and completely utilized. Estimated annual diversion is between 45,000 to 65,000 pounds, or between 23 to 32 tons annually. So instead of producing methane in landfill, this material becomes nutrient-rich worm castings that improves soil health and goes back into the garden and goes back into people's food. Now, take a mental note. With only 5 240-liter bins, the municipality can divert up to 32 tons of organic waste from landfill every year. So if we look at this chart, so we have the facts from up to 2024 as of now. We started kind of slowly. So in 2021, we collected up to 5,000 kilograms. Then in 2022, we pretty much doubled it to 10,000. And then in 2023, we collected over 20,500 kilograms. And then in 2024, we just took off, and now we've done over 80,000 kilograms. So approximately 170 tons per year that saves the landfill, does not get this waste. Now, another slide. What happens to those 65 pounds or 32 tons of food waste in your municipality? Now, if you send it to landfill, at first and foremost, it produces methane emissions. It increases landfill pressure, creates, of course, long-term environmental costs. But most importantly, it sends the message to the community that valuable organic resources are being wasted for nothing. Instead, we can convert it to something more, a better product. So if diverted through smaller worms, it transforms organic waste into nutrient-rich worm castings, supports local agriculture, gardens, and green spaces, educates residents about composting, and promotes culture of sustainability in the community. Now, one of these things is important because just last year, Wawanesa High School and Wawanesa Daycare both ordered a large amount of worm castings from us, garden soil, and wood chips. And we show it to everyone that they couldn't be happy with the results. So everything grew, and the thing is, they wanted to order from us because we're local, relatively local. So estimated impact with just 5 bins between, well, let's just say 875 to 1,250 pounds of organic waste diverted every week, up to 65 pounds, 65,000 pounds diverted from landfill annually. So waste becomes valuable soil nutrients. Now, what are the logistics? So as here, this is our farm that is located right basically in Oakland-Wawanesa. And we pay taxes as well, as every business. So service would include transportation, mileage to your location, insurance, waste processing, and bin management. So we bring the clean bin and we take the dirty one. Now, proposed service configuration. So if we were to start with 5 bins, and of course, we're going to show you different tiers, then the weekly pickups would happen every week. So for example, every Monday, but it depends on the arrangement. We will post clear signage for the public to help residents place the correct materials into the appropriate bins. Clean bins swapped at every collection, take a bin, leave a bin, 12 months a year. So far, we don't know any, basically in Brandon, they don't do that at all. So they only stop it in November and we do it all year round. So imagine on a day like this, Martin would be the one coming here, hauling those bins, and you're gonna say, oh, I just love Manitoba. Look at this great weather. And yet he does it every Monday and Thursday, depending on the services businesses need. Now, if we look at this chart, so we are proposing basically a tier layer service. So we can start as a trial, as a pilot project with just 3 bins. And the monthly cost is going to be $835. Annual cost, it would be $10,020. And cost per resident is $5.70. And we'll show in the next slide why we came up with these numbers. Standard one that is proposed is 5 bins, $11.95, annually $14,340, and cost per resident is $8.16. And if you want to feel like a leader, you can go with 7 bins, $15.55, $18,600 per year, and then $10.62 per resident. Now, programs can scale up to, depending on participation and waste volume. Probably, like if you want to start small, you can go with just 3 bins. Now, let's break it down in more. So municipality of Oakland-Wawanesa, the population is 1,758 residents based on the last census of 2021. Annual program cost is $14,340. Cost per resident, $8.16 per year, which translates to 46 cents per month. Now, in simple conversion, that's basically equals to 3 cups of coffee per resident per year, less than 1 coffee every 4 months, and yet it can divert up to 65,000 of waste annually. Now, just for the cost of a few coffee per resident, the municipality can keep tens of thousands of pounds of organic waste out of landfill. Now, why would you want to choose to work with Smiley Works / Smiley Guys? Well, first and foremost, as we already mentioned before, we are Oakland-Wawanesa based sustainability company. We're just outside of Brandon on Highway number 10, basically just across from Lake Clemente. Where we're actually visible from a highway as well. We have proven organic waste diversion program system in Brandon, and we carry a $5 million liability insurance, which is very important, just in case something happens. We have reliable pickup and support service. Environmental impact stays within the community, but what most importantly is we process everything locally and using our composting worms, a very unique method of diverting organic waste. Nobody else in Manitoba does this. So it does cost a little bit extra to keep those worms alive and happy and smiling. But we're trying to do the best we can. We've been doing this for a few years now. And we, of course, ultimately we killed a few worms per se, in order to do that, but they're doing a great work. They're going to do a great job, and we'll show you the product they will create. So in addition to this, we've been very fortunate. We were lucky because we got I got awarded for most innovative, eco-friendly agriculture business and organic waste reduction excellence award from Acquisition International. When we applied, we got, I guess we're the winners. And also, we just been awarded a Sustainable Canadian Agriculture Partnership Grant in Waste and Use Efficiency from Manitoba. And that basically helped us expand our organic waste diversion program and support more community sustainability. And therefore, we're here, find folks to promote, propose our services to you. So we're all about basically organic waste diversion. We support community sustainability and grow our environmental impact. So we are hoping that you will become our great partner. And as part of our partnership, Smiley Worms can contribute a small amount of worm castings annually to support a local community garden or environmental initiative, anywhere between 100 to 200 pounds. That is the most important slide, right? So, and that basically concludes our presentation for today. So we are open for any questions that you might have for us. And
I got one.
just one, okay.
Well, I have more than one, but
Oh, sure.
one that I think is really important. You talk about the education.
Yes.
What kind of education? How broad? Because you can't have any meat ingredient or meat product in there, et cetera, et cetera.
Like I said, I'm Martin, by the way, you know, but
Yeah.
I have Master Composter certificate from the Compost Council of Canada. And I've completed the Master Gardeners course and stuff like that. And what you're referring to, there's basically anything that was once alive could probably be composted. Okay, if you're into composting, it's basically there's nitrogen source, which could be your meats, could be your vegetable scraps, coffee grinds, and then your carbon source, which would be your leaves or cardboard or wood chips. With air and water mixed properly, it can all be composted. So one of the things we do is we do presentations for schools, for pretty much gardening groups, anybody who's getting into compost. We have a whole presentation put aside that, for instance, when some of the businesses started their composting in the kitchens, whenever they had a staff meeting, we made a presentation of them saying, this can go in the bin, this cannot go in the bin. Like, for instance, they were like napkins. Do napkins go in the bin? Yes, napkins, we'll take the napkins. Now they're coming out with paper straws. The paper straws could go in there. The jam packs, no. The little coffee creamers, no. The plastic spoons, no. So.
Yeah, I understand that. I know what it is. My wife composts everything.
Okay.
That she can.
So.
We've been doing it for years. I'm thinking about the public because of the fact that we end up, I know when we first started, we were doing recycling and we still struggle with it a lot as to what goes into recycling, what doesn't. And so we have the bins there and we know that there's contamination. And then we get charged back contamination costs rather than making money. We ended up starting to lose money.
You hit on an important point. The city of Brandon, if you're familiar with they struggle with that. didn't invest enough in public education. Their signage is inappropriate. And then people, like, if you go look at their site, you'll find barbecue tanks in there, you'll find plastic, and the way the commercial composters work, like, when you take the master composter class, one of the things, the first thing they'll teach you is like, if you take the truck, you load up, as soon as you dump it, we do a visual inspection. Are there glass bottles in there? Are there oil cans in there? Is there anything that's gonna cause it? Because we have probably the most sophisticated material separator to separate compost from contaminants, but it doesn't do glass, it doesn't do oil. So I think if they would have focused, like, what we're proposing is kind of like a pilot where you have 3 or 5 or 7 bins. People are gonna get to know, and I'm not saying right away, but your grandkids, by the time they're your age, they're gonna be like, it's pretty obvious that then, but at this moment, it's not. You know?
It is, you're right, it is a slow process,
Yeah.
but once you get it in your head, it's like this. It's like, you don't, let's just say, it's like bringing a puppy home. You start from small, you start from scratch, right? And then by the time the puppy grows, it's gonna learn a lot of things. Now, part of the reasons why we're doing the public education is because when you start with younger kids, it's gonna somehow get into the head that, okay, this is exactly what happened to Meadows. Well, Meadows just started composting program this year, and the results have been phenomenal. So the teachers can't comment enough, saying that, okay, kids already are aware of what's happening and what goes in those green bins. I'm an educator by trade, by profession. I have master in education. So I do all of these presentations for a living. I also teach ESL students. So it's part of the, like, for us, it's not just becomes, a company that just converts something, but sells products. But for us, the huge part of it is education. And I think it's also very important to everyone in the community to know what and how and why we need to do that.
Yeah, so what I'm thinking there is that if you have the bins at our waste transfer station, which are a great location for them because everybody goes there with their garbage, what containers are they gonna take it in to dump in there? Because
that would go part of the education. Like, one of the things we found was that we do a couple of old folks homes, and what they do is, I'm like, you guys have a co-op in town? Do they give you paper bags?
I don't know if they do that or not. We're just kind of a convenience thing.
Okay, because I know a lot of them, when I go pick up, a lot of the grocery stores now have gotten away from plastic and they have paper, so they'll just put all their compost in the paper bag, wrap it up, throw it in the bin. I've
Yeah.
seen them, you get flyers from the, like, News and Minute, or no, the local flyers, you get, the banner or whatever. They'll take their stuff and they'll make a little package and throw it in the bin. So a little bit of education where it doesn't have to be expensive or a big hassle to get rid of organic waste.
And part of this, we can also come to local schools and do the presentation at no cost.
If we're gonna do it, I want it to be a success. I mean, we wanna do it, attack it, I think in a really good way that everybody's gonna do it. So I do believe in it. I know what my wife produces out of it. And it's just be an education like the
Yes.
pump or the recycling. And I just see a struggle for initially unless we do a really good job of education.
Absolutely. Yeah, we're on the same page.
100%.
What does a family of 4 collect in a given week? What kind of volume?
Okay, so when we, well,
Like
family of,
a 20-liter pail full?
No.
uh,
No, but like with us though, part of our composting program, you can throw cardboard in there, you can throw coffee grinds, eggshells, so it wouldn't take long just to fill up a cardboard box with your organic
per
waste.
week, those bags that you usually get in stores, is like instead of plastic ones, you get just, what are the volume? Just the shopping bag. And that, for me, that I'm very conscientious about what goes there, so everything goes there
We dump
within a week.
everything in
within a
in
week
the
easily.
kitchen. Is that gonna smell?
In the winter, it won't smell, for sure. Well, first of all, it's just,
That's why we have the weekly pickup, we remove it.
yes, thanks.
So I'm talking
In
in
the
a
home.
person's home.
Yeah, well,
Because here, most people only deliver once a week.
Up to the waste transfer
So
station.
that's usually,
Yeah.
like in town, it's different.
No, within, like, personally, and this is on my honest opinion, it doesn't smell. Like, I keep it in the kitchen. I can't keep the 240 liter bin, unfortunately, inside the house. But we just, as soon as it's full, I say, okay, time to go. No, it doesn't smell.
but most of the time you get smell when you introduce air to compost. And that's where the bacteria starts working and okay, then you get odors. So most of the time, I don't know if any of you are farmers, if you make a pile of manure in your yard, it's gonna smell when you first put it there. A few days later, if you haven't disturbed it, you're not gonna get much odor out of it.
Yeah.
Unless it's cooking, then once it goes through its heat cycle and then.
We know all about composting manure because Mike and I are farmers, so we know about piling it up, getting the oxygen to it,
Yeah.
getting it to heat.
Yes.
You mix it again, it gets more oxygen, just keeps breaking
Well,
down.
here's a sample.
Yeah, we've got some samples and vermicomposting, it's a more efficient way of, getting rid of waste, because you can do it in a shorter period of time.
Try to make it fancy.
I'm still trying to figure a simplified way for a resident where they would keep their product for a week at a time. Not have it stink in the kitchen and be able to take the.
You can smell it.
With their regular. Okay, very good, Jennifer. With their regular, waste to the transfer station on a Saturday.
I'm good with compost.
Depending on what you throw in there, it's
Yeah,
not
looks good.
impossible. for
Where
not
is
to
that?
throw it.
So there are no meat products.
Well, you can compost meat products with the problem. You start running into problems with rats and mice and stuff like that. It's an interaction with them. I know, like, because I'm in this space, I get every sort of material that comes in about composting. And I know they were trying to reduce waste in some towns because they were getting too many seagulls in there, too many rats.
Yeah, and bears.
Yeah. Oh, we've had places up north order worms because they were getting too many bears in the landfill. They thought, well, if we started composting and remove the food source in the landfill, the bears would maybe go somewhere else. And they're trying all kinds of things to manage pests. So.
They were just talking about this on the radio the other day about seagulls and how important it is to divert organic waste out of landfill. And I called Martin immediately and I said, you know what, we should throw this in a presentation. So this is basically what the 5-pound bag of vermicompost looks like. And in order to produce 5 pounds of vermicompost, you will need about between 5 to 10 pounds of raw organic waste. Of course, it's not only what we call carbon and nitrogen, because worms obviously cannot just digest nitrogen; they need carbon as well. So it's a complete mix. And this is our selling product. Especially if people don't know about it, like, and they want to try it out. Like, a lot of people don't know what worm castings are, and when we do different presentation, different shows, a lot of people are still not even aware of this.
What do you guys sell it back out to public for?
On the website, it's listed as $14.99.
We also have a lot of farmers come pick it up by the pallet.
Yes, by totes.
Like I don't know if you guys farm, you're familiar with Echo Tea? They're out of Winnipeg. Last year, they did about 250,000 acres of compost tea between Manitoba, Saskatchewan and Alberta. Basically turned that into a tea, so.
And your government approved, Manitoba government's, I guess, not approved license?
Yeah.
Or that's license?
Like,
Yeah.
we're not a compost site, like, we don't,
Oh, okay.
we don't compost anything, but like, for us, it didn't make, like, composting is expensive. And there's a lot of problems, so we just buy it and then resell it. There's a site that's approved just outside of Portage, and that's where we buy our actual compost to resell,
Okay.
but we don't,
But vermicompost, we produce in
yeah,
outside.
it's all done indoors.
Yes,
Yeah.
that farm that you saw there,
Yeah, these
it's,
worms,
Is there a barn there?
yeah,
that's our
yeah,
barn.
that's where we work out of. They won't survive the Canadian winter. They
Yeah.
live in the top 2-3 inches.
Yeah, so therefore, it is a more expensive process to, first of all, they need to have heat, electricity and everything
We
else.
built the barn, it's got R38 walls and R80 in the attic with in-floor heat. Most of the big commercial worm farmers, it's one of those things, details matter. One farmer I talked to in Australia, they exchange air every 3 minutes in their barn, like poultry almost. It's,
So you do all your composting that you do out of this
yeah,
building?
we go up. So if you have a square foot, we might go 10 trays up, so you got 10 square feet on one space. So it maximizes space to make it more efficient.
But it's very small, like we need much bigger, we need more. If we divert that much food, then we want to make sure that we have enough worms to eat it.
This is important to all municipalities, as far as I'm concerned. If we're diverting too much stuff to the landfills, and that's causing all kinds of issues and costs.
Mhm.
So I mean, this is important. I think it's the right thing to do.
We're throwing out a solution that may work, and it's, like I say, just, I know it sounds a lot nicer to have a bin at everybody's house and about it, but in my experience, it doesn't work. This system, you're targeting people who are willing to do it. I find that, like, we charge businesses to pick up their stuff, and the owners are fairly religious about this goes in there, this goes in there, so we get very few contaminants because they're paying for it.
Sometimes we have money in it, which is a source of carbon.
And it just our experience, if it's open to the whole public to everybody, you're gonna get a big mess. And you, like, as you found with your recyclables, you got lots of contaminants.
It would work very well with the schools, but then for them, we need to do a separate presentation, obviously.
So if we gushed with the starter 3 bin and we had contamination, do we get charged on that or is it?
No,
No,
well, within reason, like more than likely, like, I think we're reasonable. It's like if we're finding that somebody threw their case of empties in there, I'd be like, we'll put a sign up, please put your bottles in the recycling bin, you know? There's other, like, I don't think you need to go to the most extreme, you know, and you're better to say, okay, maybe this person didn't know or didn't care. And sometimes the bin placement has something to do with it. If it's in public space, see a garbage bin and just fill it full of garbage. But if it's already at the transfer station, they're like, okay, they're already going there with intent. Like, I know anybody who's ever been at the transfer station, you know, the wood goes over here, the metal goes over there, and the general waste goes in this bin, and they've already been kind of pre-programmed.
however, we're open to suggestions that you place bins somewhere more visible for the public, especially, some people don't have a mode of transportation to get there. So it may be more convenient for them to place these bins outside the
Yeah.
recycling bins.
Do you guys have recycling bins in the community?
No, we don't have any, well,
They
a couple
Yeah, they had
companies
taken
have.
a lot of them away simply because they were finding that,
People are
they
filling full
were,
of garbage.
Yeah.
And that's a problem everywhere. It's, I think it'll be a generation at least before
Yes,
that gets figured out.
Well, we've come a long way for recycling.
Yep.
It's to a point, I think, that we're,
and if you advertise it as well in your local newsletter or your emails, that this service is now available in Wawanesa, trust me, people are gonna have like open embraces with open arms. Because a lot of them are special gardeners, they just want this compost, this diversion to be on a yearly basis, not just in the summertime.
Will the product, if we drop it in a landfill, bin, will it freeze solid on a given winter day for you?
What we do, like, for instance, I picked up in Shallow the other day and they throw soup in there, they throw whatever, and it's like a block of ice. Our shop has got in-floor heat, so I'll bring it, I'll set it in the shop. Next morning, I go to empty it. We use, you guys have cattle? Do you know what TMR mixer is? We have a 10-yard TMR mixer that we make our food with. And we'll take it and we have a bin tipper, so we'll dump it, it'll come out like a block of ice. Because the whole outside will thaw and it comes out. And when we make our food, before it looks like this, have you guys ever used that blow-in insulation they put in attics? It kind of looks like that. It's got that same texture. It's kind of dark gray. So our warm food actually looks like that blow-in insulation when we're done at that phase of processing. But it all goes into a big TMR mixer. So our capacity, like probably about 45 minutes of mixing in that machine, is pretty much done mixing. So capacity is not a problem.
2 questions. Do you ever come and put on a presentation for, say, a municipality or a city, town took it on, and you, for public awareness, do you ever do them?
Yeah, like we do them at the libraries.
Yeah.
Pretty much we even do them online. We've had a bunch of schools in Winnipeg that we've done some, and other people found out, can we do another online one? But we'd like to come in person because you get to see what.
No, but I meant a public meeting in a community is what I'm saying.
No,
Sure.
you're the first,
Yeah, you're the first, but that's
like
not.
in the municipality level, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the city of Brandon wouldn't invite us. They don't like us.
Oh,
Not in that term, but they feel that we're a big competition.
okay. And the second one is, I see you had the smaller worms, and you had like the big ones like
Yes,
night crawlers.
yeah.
What's,
Well, they're like cousins. What happened? There's about.
so there is a part of the
Yes,
process?
these are, so these are the red wigglers and these are one European night crawlers.
They're both composting worms. But when we started, we had to try to figure out what lane are we gonna be in. And for instance, the European night crawlers, they're used for composting. There's only like 7 worms in the world that you can use for composting, but they're used for composting, but they're also, they can grow up big enough to be bait.
Mhm.
Okay,
Not
and-
as Canadian.
Yeah, like there is, for instance, there was a farm in Tennessee that they actually have 700 acres of grain that they farm inside a 10-acre building that they feed the bait industry in the US, and they have millions of tons of castings. It's a pretty big outfit, and that's the worm they use.
So they also produce castings
Yeah.
as well. But the thing is, like, it depends on the feed. For example, like these guys that we feed the red wiggers with, and the texture of worm castings looks a little bit different than let's just say compared to night crawlers, European night crawlers, because well, when they poop, let's just say bigger.
I use trawlers lots for fishing, so that's why.
Yeah.
Yes, we
The
do.
ones you use, they come from Southern Ontario, and I don't know if you've ever seen how they harvest. I don't know if you did it as a kid. They'll load up vans of people after rain, take them to a golf course, give them a little headlamp, and they spend all night pulling worms out of the ground, and they get paid by the pound. Okay, what happened was the European night crawlers, I guess at some point somebody complained, it's like, you're not paying these people fairly. And the guys who were selling, it's like, we can't make money at the price you guys want us to pay, so they brought those in. And there's, like I said, and they're all can be raised indoors under controlled environments.
But European night crawlers are more finicky. They don't like being
Yeah,
picked very much
the-
compared to red wigglers.
Red wigglers are just more forgiving.
We ship red wigglers all across Canada to different kinds of municipalities in Ontario. We shipped over, I don't know how many pounds of worms. We shipped them all the way to Yukon, east, west, and miraculously, they survive up to 2 weeks in a bag, in a cotton bag. We found a way that this is the best way to ship them. The bag turns out to be pretty nasty by the time the people get it, unfortunately, but they are alive and they're a little bit droopy after a too long
Worms
vacation.
dirty, like my experience with them anyway.
Yeah, well, they're good worms, like they're good pets, and like I said, for us, they are excellent workers. Like I said, they never complain, all they do is just work, all they need to do is they need good food and I guess some sort of love too. Well, Mark takes care of that part.
You had mentioned raw organics. Does that mean that table scraps or whatever?
Yeah,
Do
absolutely.
not.
That's why the worms tend to work, because they'll, when we mix it, we gotta pay attention to the carbon and nitrogen. So if looks like we got 5 bins of soup from Shiloh, we'll amend it with lots of wood chips and cardboard. And then we do Spitty's restaurants, for instance, and they do a big breakfast business. So we'll get half of those bins just full of eggshells.
And they
So-
love eggshells.
Yeah, and then they got napkins in there, they got, the straws, they got the half-eaten sandwiches, and once we blend it all up, it's not recognizable. You're like, this is, it's.
So table scraps are acceptable.
Yeah. for
That's
sure.
exactly what we need. Yes, yeah,
So you would take like Kleenex,
But yeah,
yes,
Kleenex,
Napkins.
cardboard.
yes, napkins, colored
so
paper.
that would divert a lot by itself.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, and it's a carbon source, so.
It's a carb, and we won't take like large pieces. I mean, we might, right? As long as it fits into the
No,
bin.
But you're talking about contaminated stuff from the recycling. We got a call from Princess Auto, and the guy said, would you take some of our bundles of cardboard? I said, why would you want us to take it? Don't you get money for it when we strip it off? And I guess they got it back saying that the cardboard they were sending was faded and they were gonna reject. It's like, they're not taking faded cardboard. It's like, okay.
We'll take
But-
firearms.
And for us, if it's soiled with water or oil or whatever, it just all gets blended up.
Yes,
And
as long as it's not excessive amount of oil or any kinds of like really like spicy things, like normally that what you wouldn't eat so much, like the same thing, it might be a little bit harmful for the worms. They wouldn't eat pineapple. That's something that we've already established that would kill them. It's highly acidic for them. Yeah, and that basically it's instant kill. So this is something, and that we can put all the signages on every single bin, and people will know. And like I said, we will still find contaminants, but we're not going to charge you with anything. Like we're not kind of people that, oh, you threw a piece of glass there. Oh, you're gonna get charged like $500 for this. No, we're very easy to work with. Trust me.
And I check everything as we
Yes.
throw it in, because if I have a beer bottle in there, that's gonna ruin 10 yards of compost, then I have a problem. So it
And
makes
we'll
sense
use
for
the
me.
machine as well.
Well, it makes sense for me to have a look before I turn it on and start mixing.
How big is that bin you're talking about?
240 liter bins. So we'll go back here, yeah.
Are you familiar with the city of Brandon's bins they keep?
Yeah, the ones that you, the
Those ones are 360 liters.
So ours is
These green bins are about 2/3 the size, but they're specifically made for compost. Like they'll take a beating. The wheels are stronger.
They're commercially rated.
They have more plastic in
so
it.
essentially couldn't like 20 families fill that in a week? Like,
Yeah, you could, but I'm not expecting, like, there's gonna be participants who are like, gonna be religious about it.
Some people don't believe in
And
that.
then
right, it's just how do you get everybody on board, right?
Well, education, as you mentioned, that also public awareness. They need to know that the service is available now, basically 20, well, not 24/7, but 12 months a year, which is very important for people. And like I said, it just comes with a little bit of time. But as if you would like us to come and talk to public again, like we will be happy to do that. Just to be in like schools as well, daycare centers. So we're happy to do that. This is what we do.
If you guys take it on, we have invested interest to make sure it works.
Yes.
Yeah, yeah, and I think we understand it. I think it's just, or some experiences we've had as far as council goes.
Yeah, and
Like with recycling, it was a real problem initially because we didn't educate maybe enough.
Mhm.
And so if we're gonna do it, I think we'd have to
Also,
make
think
sure.
about how good it's gonna look on your reports.
Yeah,
We're
I think it's important, but that's my,
tomorrow we're doing the presentation in Souris as well. So there could be a regional diversion up to 1,000 pounds per year. Right,
yeah, that's,
Mr. Fisher. are
that's
you
our
convinced
landfill
yet?
source right now. is-
Not
I'm
yet.
convinced, I,
Have you doubts?
Mr. Fisher, I like that one.
Oh, got it right.
And, yeah, try again. Like, I do believe in organic waste, because like I have a dead cow, I throw it in the shit pile and it decomposes or
Right.
whatever,
Yeah,
like they all
that's right.
decompose if you mix it enough and.
We all
But-
decompose.
But I think one of your best ways of doing this is giving everybody a pail with a removable lid to put in their house. And so then they would bring it to the transport or the sites. And then
dump it in.
And then dump, like you can lift a pail.
Yeah.
You can't lift one of those.
Or no, those are at the,
No,
At the
those ones will be at the
research- or at the Transfer
Yeah.
stations, yes.
you know,
Or
that might make a lot of
somewhere,
sense.
or somewhere
If you
here
have
in
just a pail,
let's say
it
downtown
doesn't
area,
fit under-
if that works.
but you would have to,
Right,
on a day like today, if that was an empty bin, you'd have to
Right, I
prevent it
get
from
that.
blowing away too.
with a removable lid, like a snap-on
Yeah.
lid that
Well,
removes.
when
the
they're
hose.
full, they're really heavy,
Right.
It's
really
you
heavy.
don't
When they're
know
empty,
if you
they might be a
stick
little
it
bit light.
go animal.
No, they
If you
wouldn't
have
go.
a
No, they wouldn't, they're not
Like,
that deep.
One thing, you're talking about smells, and one thing about worms, most compost sites, they have compost turners, and when you turn it with the tractor, you know it smells. Worms, when they burrow, they introduce small amounts of air as
Yep.
they're moving through it. So that kind of mitigates the smell where it's just like, okay, they're turning it very slightly regularly. if
But
you
it's
will.
just the way like dung beetles work in manure and on a farm. I mean, it just, it's another form of insect that's working for you, so.
Well, but yeah, but do you know another company that would work with worms like we do? That's kind of.
Actually, I
know-
do.
Okay.
I have a family. Well, it's part of my family in Idaho that does this, so
Oh.
they've been doing it for 30
Right,
years.
we're talking about locally here.
I know, but they have been selling worms and things for 30 years now, so.
Yeah, so it's, just to hit on that though, this, to give you an idea, I had to do a presentation for the Brandon Summit call, and they gave me a list of questions, it's like, well, who's doing this? And I found the largest compost site, worm compost site in the world is in New Zealand. They composted 252,000 tons of waste using worms. So there's some out there that are doing some pretty large numbers.
Yeah,
We would like to,
again, I think it's the way to go, but it's something that there's a cost to everything and we have to keep that in mind as far as our budgeting and everything too. And if there's a return on it that's, we offsets that, I think it's a lot more
we would
feasible.
like to show you our website, when it's, ready to go. This is kind of a,
Are there any other questions while they?
You mentioned a grocery bag. We're all familiar with the old, the cardboard grocery bag. And But anyway, to me, if I'm having it in my house, in the kitchen somewhere, you put a coffee grounds in, they're moist, you're assuming the bag's not gonna hold together, that's not.
Good question. That's a good question. Let me answer this. I have this problem all the time. I either double the bag to make it just a little bit absorb more, or I basically put some sort of a cardboard box and then with the thick cardboard box and then put the bag in.
That's gonna be my concern with people with the selling features, if they're putting in bags or something, like Mike said, if you had a paper head somewhere.
Yeah.
Where it isn't gonna leak in your house or something, that's all, you know.
Well, if the municipality is, let's just say like, is willing to provide the residents with some small pails, that would be also an option.
It would be, it works best when people are willing to do it, so I wouldn't recommend everybody get one, but if you like one, it would be available.
So this is our waste collection, link. Just some data and some information, what we collect as well. So this is whoever wants to open up, like contact us, they can do that by filling out the form. And we also do local services. These are the presentations.
There's no doubt in my mind, you get it into the schools with the kids will go home and tell mom and dad, we gotta do this.
Exactly. You
Actually,
just hit the nail on the head.
Seatbelts. They're still telling me to do my seatbelt.
Yeah.
actually,
Yes,
no, it
those
is
ones
funny
are
you
good
should say
ones.
that, because
Yes.
we obviously went to all the businesses around and pitched it
Yeah,
to
we
them.
also provide school farm
We
tours.
went to Safeway and I talked to the manager, he goes, was your kid here the other day? I was like, no, I don't have kids in school right now. It's like, well, the kid was asking me why we weren't composting the waste. It was like,
No, it's probably from
I'll
Meadows.
send a kid a check or something, but it's like.
Yeah.
Yes.
But
On Thursday, like this week, we were doing the presentation in high school in Neelan as well, so we're gonna be trying to convince them as well. So, these are our bait worms. We're not selling them in the winter time. Well, right now, we're not selling any worms, just only local pickup. So if you are thinking about some winter fishing like today, you're more than welcome to stop by. So,
He's got all the time in the world.
that's great.
Not a farmer market.
Are you guys just west of town at Lake Committee Road?
yeah, as you're
Yes.
coming over the hill, you
West.
can see our barn off the highway.
On the south side of the road.
Yeah, we're on the south and then, west of the highway.
Not the very
Yeah.
first one. It's just
West.
probably
Yeah,
like
there's a little red barn right across from Lake Clemente. We're the second one.
Second one.
Yeah.
the second red one. As soon as you see Smiley Worms, we're still developing that website, we're still developing that, farm, just because when we got it, it was in really, really bad shape, so there was lots of debris
We
and.
bought it from Hoarder. I don't know if that rings a bell now.
That's okay, it's beside the point.
It was a bit of a mess.
So we're trying to restore it and we're trying to get, it's absolutely beautiful. We got lots of native plants there. We had a lady from the Agri Society who came in and she said, she started photographing every single plant that was there. We do not disturb anything, or we do not till, because that's one of the, it's completely organic farm, and we're doing the organic orchard as well in a few years. Right now, the plants are still small to produce anything, but in a few years, we're gonna open up to public and they will be able to enjoy the fruit and labor of the organic orchard.
We've planted over 9,000 fruit nut trees on that property already.
Yes,
We've got-
our great grandchildren will be rich someday. Because the nut tree we have,
Like, we have some odd, like, we have lots.
Walnuts?
Black walnuts, butternuts in there. A lot of these things, we live about 8 miles to the southwest. We're just in,
this is our farm,
Oakland,
this is our real
around the
picture.
Whitehead, just on the divide road between Whitehead and Cornwallis, and everything on there, we've already planted. And we know it grows.
Well, the land was there not that good, so we're amending it with all the organic materials.
The
So we,
previous guy, it was a 40-acre parcel, and it's probably since 1979. They just baled it every year.
so this is the
To
worm team,
point that
to extend the life of worm
they
castings.
made the property almost alkali because there's no organic.
This is
material.
Pride and Joy. One of our customers from Rivers bought the living soil and he planted his tomatoes. This is how enormously big they've turned, and he sold every single one of them. So worm towers, customers requested to, this is like luxury living for worms.
So is there somebody at the farm, if somebody wanted to buy the worms?
Usually by appointment, because it's just the two of us, so I'm there a lot. but it allows us to do pickups, and in the summer, we have some helpers.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you guys are curious and you wanna come look around.
This is,
You're more than welcome to.
Thanks.
this is the school, Wawanesa, High School. This is their, this is what we filled up all their pots, all their beds in, with our soil. And, they couldn't be happy with that. And it was a very easy delivery, easy to deal with, so we're just very, very happy about this. Just wanted to show you the size of the carrots you can grow with using worm castings.
Do they, I know like with manure, they get hairy. The carrots will get hairy. You want,
No,
if
not here, we
it's too
don't.
rich? Really?
Compost, yes,
that's
regular
fine.
compost is really, really rich. You can actually burn it fast. But with this, this has very low NPK,
Yeah.
nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium.
So have you guys got any more questions?
No, I think that's,
I don't wanna tie up, we're probably
Yeah.
tied up more time than we should have.
appreciate the presentation.
We're the only ones. So, we got a bonus.
Great.
Well, thank you very much for having us today. We weren't sure, we were looking at the weather in the morning. It's like, oh God, I hope they're not gonna cancel the meeting today.
Do the
Oh,
receipt and then do that one.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Okay, be it resolved that the presentation by Martin and Elena Dupuy of Swanee Farms with respect to waste diversion be received. Moved by Don, second Councilor Pickler, all in favor? Carried. And we'll go to, be it resolved that administration be requested to evaluate the program costs in comparison with the existing waste management costs. Who's that? Councilor Hatch, second Councilor Bell,
Happy gardening.
all in favor? Okay, thank you.
Oh, thank you for this.
Okay. Carry on with, communications.
Good. So under communications, we have the accessibility news, the creating accessible outdoor spaces. There's a couple of different documents from Age Friendly Connections, being their newsletter, as well as news release on community supports. The Association of Manitoba Municipalities sent several documents. They are dated February 12th. February the 20th, there are two. February the 23rd, February the 25th, March the 3rd, March the 4th, March the 6th, there are two, and March the 10th. We received information from the Dennis County Planning District with respect to the development plan public hearing. Federation of Canadian Municipalities sent their communiques. They are dated February 17th, 23rd, March the 4th, and March the 9th. There was information from Manitoba Agriculture with respect to the 2025 farmland school tax rebate deadline. Manitoba Giant Pumpkin Growers Seminar is taking place March the 28th. Manitoba Good Roads Association sent information on their 2026 annual awards banquet. Multi-Material Stewardship Manitoba provided information from their executive director. Municipal and Northern Relations sent out several bulletins, numbers 5, 7, 8, and 9. And we received a copy of the March 4th Municipal World publication.
Okay. It resolved that the above noted communications be received. Moved by Councilor McDonald, seconder Councilor Hatch, all in favor? Moves to the committee reports. Councilor Fisher, you have written report, anything to add?
Nothing to add.
Councilor Jones has a written report. Councilor Hatch, you have a written report, anything to add?
Nothing to add.
Councilor Gullich, you have a written report, anything to add?
Nothing to add.
Councilor McDonald, anything to add to your written report?
Nothing to add.
That's nothing on mine. CAO report.
Nothing further on mine.
Something that's. Oh, that public hearing of municipal board.
Municipal Board has proposed two dates for public hearing on the shop. Those are May the 1st and May the 14th. In looking at council schedule, May the 1st has probably worked the best. And I've sent that information off to the municipal board. They in turn should be notifying anybody who had made representation to them of their opportunity to attend. It would be held between 9:30 and 4:30. And we're looking at doing it at the Wawanesa Hall.
The financial officer's report, anything to add, Sheila?
Yeah.
Well, the correct one's there?
If I could add to the Public Works report.
Yes.
Chelsea called in to let us know that we did have an issue with respect to a water outage at the hospital. And Drew Wilton was in today and let us know that they discovered as they went to dig to fix it, that one of the utilities in fact did not have their cables listed on the call to dig site. And as a result, one of their wires got cut. And so he was making us aware of that. So just if council gets
Last
any
Friday?
questions. Last Thursday.
But there was no internet or anything at the doctor's office on Friday.
Right. And that would be the reason why.
Be it resolved that the verbal and written reports be received. Moved by Councilor McDonald, seconder. Councilor Fisher, all in favor? Carried. And nothing on bylaws, work alone policy. It resolved the working alone policy, ER 010, be further amended to include clauses related to employee check-ins for regular work days versus Saturdays or after hours. Moved by Councilor McDonald, seconder. Councilor Gold, discussion? You wanna,
If I could,
yeah,
just in taking a look at the policy, there was an area that was highlighted. And it is with respect to, it should be highlighted in green. And it is with respect to the opportunity to contact either municipal employees or a member of council. I just wanted to make sure that council was okay with the way it was worded. I didn't hear anything back from anybody. So
all in favor? Okay, whereas the government of Canada passed the Purple Day Act in 2012, recognizing epilepsy awareness, now therefore be resolved that municipality of Oakland-Wawanesa post information on the municipal website acknowledging the same. Moved by Councilor McDonald, seconder, Councilor Gullett, discussion? All in favor? Okay, under general business, we have the request for meeting excuse, be excused. Be it resolved that at the request of Councilor Rome, he be excused from this meeting of council, where thereby ensuring he does not become disqualified under section 94(1) of the municipal act. Moved by. To have a mover. Councilor McDonald, seconder, Councilor Hatchman. Okay, discussion? I just think that it's the right thing to do is to excuse us. We do it for another councillor, so I think this be proper. Now, if people can come up with another discussion on that, I'd be happy to listen, but I just seeing it being the right thing to do. You guys. All in favor? Opposed? Okay, RF now, it's resolved that the proposed fiber path addition across Road 43 North between Road 108 West and Road 109 West, outlined on the maps attached to this correspondence dated March 9, 2026, from RF now be approved, subject to the terms and conditions of the installation agreement dated October 26, 2023, subject to installation of appropriate signage. Moved by Councilor Gullett, second Councilor McDonald, discussion? Imagine, did we run this through Public Works?
we did, and she was fine with it.
All in favor? Be it resolved that the request of Aurora Land Consulting Limited on behalf of Enbridge Pipelines Incorporated for encroachment on the municipal road allowance for soil remediation, if necessary, in Southwest 33-718 W1N, as outlined in correspondence dated March 11, 2026, be approved under the same terms and conditions as the original agreement. Moved by Councillor Hatch, seconder, Councillor Gullett. Discussion? All in favor? Their building inspection, be it resolved that the administration arrange for a title search for the property located at 66 Main Street in Nesbit, Manitoba, following which a building and fire inspection be conducted. Moved by Councillor Hatch, seconder, Councillor Fisher. Discussion? All in favor? Carried. Okay, so then we have the grants. Be it resolved that grants to community organizations, the amount of $7,500 be approved as per the following list, subject to final budget approvals. The following list is a list of the grants were approved in 2025. The table below shows grants requested for 2026 and can be used as a worksheet for planning purposes. So somebody to move that resolution. Fisher, seconder, Councillor Gullett. Discussion? We're basically going forward with what we did last year and like it's otherwise. So this unallocated $320 at the end. All in favor? Or- Okay. Membership for Long-Term and Continuing Care Association be approved, be it resolved that the request from the Long-Term and Continuing Care Association of Manitoba to consider membership in the association as an annual cost of $1,250 be denied. Moved by Councillor McDonald, seconder. Mr. Hatch, discussion. This is turning it down. Correct. All in favor? Okay, be it resolved that the administration be directed to prepare the necessary tender documents for a 60 by 100 public workshop, inclusive of bid bond requirements.
It's up to council to decide if you want that in there.
We can make the amendment or whatever. For a building to include 3 overhead doors, a kitchen, office area, a washroom, maintenance room, air exchange and heated floors with a closing date of what's it, October 31st?
I would, well, I'm thinking tender closing sometime in May.
This is the tender close, right?
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Yeah, so it'll be 30. How long do you want to run?
We'll close it like the 1st of May. Is that enough time or do you need it longer? John, what do you think?
Well, I'm thinking if we get the tenders out early enough, we could close May the 1st. Of course, that is subject to
Right.
the municipal board
Right.
approval.
So
May 1st is what we'll put in.
May 1st. Okay.
Or should we go a little, like the 10th or something that gives us a few days after the public hearing?
I'm thinking more earlier, so that, so it's available for the board meeting.
Do we not need a more specific ask for a tender as opposed to generality?
Well, this is just to prepare it. So you might have some more points to put on it, but this is the gist of it, right?
I believe this is what council had suggested they wanted included. You could include in there that it be reviewed by council prior to issuing.
So,
Before we do that, let's get the date and then we can get it moved and seconded so we can discuss it. So do you want to get May 1st? Do you want to do it April 30th? So we have it for the May 1st meeting, board meeting.
I will note that council cannot award a tender unless you're in a
No.
regular meeting, so the board, the municipal board wouldn't have the opportunity to review the tender,
Yeah,
and that doesn't fall within their jurisdiction.
that's not your part anyway.
No.
But we would know.
You wouldn't know unless you hold a council meeting,
Our council meeting in April is when?
the 21st.
So we could do it for the 23rd. It's that'll give at least 3 weeks of tender. That's sufficient.
Okay.
Is that too tight?
I've got lots of questions on this whole thing here.
Well, I'm gonna put 21st as a date, and
I
we'll
think
start with
that's
that.
right, isn't it?
Well, yeah, well, let's get through it, get it moved and seconded, and we'll talk. Okay, so air conditioning heat floors with a closing date of April 21st, 2026, whereby the awarding of the tender will be subject to approval by the municipal board of the required boring bylaw. Moved by Councilor Donald, seconder. Councilor Bullock, okay, so now we get into discussion. Want to amend it in any way?
I want to make an amendment to the bid bond,
Okay, to remove the requirement of a bid bond?
just to open up the fact that we'll get more bidders.
That's what I was gonna bring up too.
Okay, so
And so this is just to prepare a tender, so it does not actually say anything to do with the requirements that we need. We have to come up with that.
right.
So the holdbacks, if you said holdbacks in there, when
We
we
have,
be
we have to
released,
put that in,
yes.
into the tender document.
It's no different like we do gravel crushing and that kind of stuff. We want the tender, we want to put a tender of gravel crushing, then you put the stipulations in there as to what it is.
Where it's not necessarily accepted or anything.
Yeah. Correct?
And if council will recall, you have received copies of two different tenders. One is the original tender that went out in 2021, that was for the shop that had all the specifications in it that you wanted. The other one was a more simplified version that a different municipality has used. We will need to have some idea from council as to which tender it is that they are interested in utilizing once we fill in some of this other information into it.
I have a question about that, Joni. If council chooses to go with Elton's blueprints and plan, is that an option or do we?
Well, we'd have to get permission from them.
Yes, that's what I mean. Was that,
There's alterations that are required to that plan regardless. So I would suspect that when we are sending this bid out, what we would be doing is council giving direction that we include the company that built Elton Shop as one of the companies that would receive a copy of the tender. And we would be noting some of the changes that would be required for the difference between where they've got a water system and we don't, etc.
but it would speed up the process to get a tender out, would it not, if you could go with that or not?
No, last time around, if council will recall, you sent the tender document out. It didn't have plans attached. The tender required that they submit plans based on
This criteria.
this criteria, and then they would create plans and submit their bid.
All part of the bid then.
Both sites have different soil conditions as well.
Yeah, I mean, you'd have
There
to,
has to be alterations and changes.
okay, so you want to put the amendment in just for that, or do you want to amend the date too? Is that too tight, April 21st, for the meeting?
We don't know if we can get Elton's plan.
Yeah, so I mean, we maybe have to stretch it out better. So you want to go May 15th,
May 15th.
that better? So include that in the amendment with that?
And then we'd have it for our main meeting, right?
Yeah.
So those are
Good.
two separate amendments, so we should maybe do them. Have to do them first. Do we have the same mover and seconder for the date?
Sure.
Sure. Okay, you want to do that?
So we don't have, when we're asking for quotes on it, we don't have our plans.
We don't have a plan.
Well,
That's what I mean.
and this, going by other ones, is that you put your criteria and you have the size,
Mhm.
you have what you want to put into it, and then they can do the plans up, because it's a very simplified building. Other than the creating the groundwork. But it's more so than what the building itself is, because it's more of a, and the 60-foot rafter is more universal than it is to go bigger, sort of thing.
The other option, and I'm just throwing this out there, is council defeat this motion for getting the tender prepared and instead give us direction to get
Engineer.
plans drafted. But then you're coming back in April for the tender approvals. So you're into May or June before you're sending the tenders out.
Right.
But it is certainly council's choice.
I still like the idea of having a set of plans to go ahead with. At least we know what we're.
At the public meeting we had in Carroll, we tried to present something that was a dream only. Like nobody, like I didn't even know what we were really proposing, so.
Well, it's like going to a bank for a pre-approval mortgage. You go to the bank and you say, I want to buy a house. I'm not sure what it's gonna be like. But I want to know how much we can borrow and what's my limit that we're gonna go to and what's the interest
Yeah,
rate
but there
gonna
is
be.
criteria that you have to meet to make that work, so.
Well, no, banks are gonna give you authority on what you.
Well,
are
but
capable
on your,
of borrowing.
based on your income, yeah.
Yeah, that's what the pretext of that public hearing was to say, okay, we want to do a building. We're not sure what the costs are gonna be. Because, and if you get a tender then, it would have expired within 30 days. We wouldn't be able to follow that now. And if it's more, we'd have to go to another public hearing. So that's the problem if you want to use a exact amount. This way, it was a 900,000 that we put out. It's pre-approval. We had to go before, now it's going before the board. We're not even sure we're gonna get it. That's what the board's gonna decide. So, but that's a pre-approval portion. And that, now we know that we have, that is our guideline. As far as your plans go, yeah, you can create plans. I can tell you that I looked at that at another municipality. They did not have plans. They put it forward to, we wanted to do this. Here you go. You hired an engineer, you do all that specifications and come back with it as part of the project.
Could we not go ahead with to acquire a plan and provide a tender at the same process?
Well,
Like,
if you're
to
gonna,
drawings?
how are you gonna incorporate both of those?
So my suggestion to council is that if you are giving us direction to get plans prepared, you are paying for those now
Yeah, now,
without knowing that you have got municipal board approval for the shop. And if that's the direction council wants to go, then I need to know where it is that you're planning on expending that money from
on the budget.
for budget purposes.
Right.
Were we not talking a while ago, possibly using some reserves to go towards?
Yeah, but that's what they'll need to know. You know, if it's gonna be 25 grand for engineered report or engineered plans, then it's gonna, you have to get it from, if you wanna go to the building reserve, we can take it out of the building reserve. Yeah, but that's have to direct council or administration to do that as to where the money comes from.
I'd personally like to see it, a set of plans so people know what they're bidding on and kind of what we're looking at and expand the money from the program. That's what I'm thinking in my mind. Because if I'm bidding on a shed, I'd like to know what I'm bidding on. You know, that's all. I know the groundwork is,
So the proper way then would be to defeat this, what we're doing now, and start over with just getting plans, period.
Yeah.
That's the alternative. No, sir.
but that puts us another month behind, right?
It'd be good, at least a month, maybe two. We may not get it in this year because I don't know what buildings, who's gonna be building that thing.
The plans could be all done before the next council meeting.
Yeah, but then you have to start the tendering process, which is gonna be beyond that. So you're not gonna be able to do the tendering until probably May into June.
Well, the contractor's gonna be all busy then, so that's not gonna work.
So I mean, that's up to council.
Sorry, just because you were gonna change, you were gonna amend the date to May 15th, so it was ready for the council meeting. Just remember that that's the Friday, the holiday, and Monday is the holiday, and then the council meetings are at 9 AM, so that's very little time to get all the tenders looked at and get ready for the meeting, so just wanted
Yeah.
to throw that out there
Yeah.
before you decided on that date, if that's where you're going with, because that is like really having not much time to get it all ready for the meeting.
What day do you live at?
Well, you had said, it's just about May 15th.
Yeah.
But then it's a holiday Monday and then the council meeting's at 9, so that's not a lot of time to get it prepared for you. Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
look, I'm not sure what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I just thought I'd give you
I
that,
just- That definitely doesn't work then if we're gonna drag it on that long, it won't happen this year. So we gotta do something here that's gonna get the process going, because if it's, everybody's gonna have the work all lined up by then, and we won't get it done, so.
Well, if you want to, if you want to
I'm
plan,
still okay with the idea of doing a tender and, if we have to drop in building reserves for the plan, detailed plans as well.
we have to do one before the other. Right?
Well, you would think that you would need the plans before you put a tender up.
I know what that,
No,
That's
so
what
that-
council did last time.
That's not
I'm
what
pretty
the-
sure the 2021 tender
Yeah.
was without plans.
Plans.
No plans.
Yeah.
I'm sure
Okay.
that's what you said.
well, then let's do it that way then, because I guess otherwise we won't
Do
get
you
it.
want to take a recess? Let me check
Yeah,
that.
let's just do that.
Turned off.
Okay, can we get a motion that we take a 15-minute recess?
Moved by Councillor Fisher, Councillor Golod, seconded, all in favor? Will be resolved that the meeting reconvene. So move Councillor Fisher, second Councillor Golod, all in favor? Carried. Okay, so then we got the,
The first amendment is that the motion be amended by deleting the requirement for a bid bond.
moved by Councillor Hatch, seconder, Councillor Fisher.
Now, we had Hatch and McDonald already.
Oh, did we? Okay,
Yeah, we just didn't
Oh,
vote on
okay.
it.
okay, all in favor? Carried.
Then we had an amendment, same mover and seconder, that the date be amended from April the 21st to, and I'm gonna suggest May 14th, 2026, and that's for the closing date of the tender.
All in favor? Sure. Okay, let's go to the original resolution.
As amended, which we'll get rid of that. And take this to 15th. Okay, we had McDonald and Gullett that were the original movers of that.
Okay, and they have after it's amended to include those other two items.
Correct.
All in favor? Good there, Nancy?
I think we're good on that one.
Okay, be it resolved that the Manitoba Municipalities online report for the month of February 2026 be received and any necessary actions to the bylaw maintenance program be hereby approved. Moved by Councillor McDonald, seconder. Councillor Fisher, all in favor? Be resolved that this meeting is now adjourned to meet again on Tuesday, April 21st, 2026 at 9 a.m. at the municipal office in Wawanesa. Moved by Councillor Fisher, seconder. Councillor McDonald, all in favor?